A programmable logic controller operates on flawless, mathematical code, but the factory floor it controls is a chaotic, physical battleground. Every industrial enclosure is under constant assault from three physical threats: ambient heat buildup, electromagnetic interference, and severe voltage transients. The physical and electrical isolation established inside the control panel serves as the final arbiter of system reliability. To see how this works, we start with an entirely empty, blank slate NEMA enclosure. We cannot populate this box based on what looks visually neat or save space. Every single component's placement must be strictly dictated by the first principles of physics. The most absolute constraint inside a sealed box is the accumulation of heat. To survive, the system relies on natural convection cooling. Because hot air naturally rises, all major controller components must be mounted vertically. This creates an unobstructed upward draft of air across the circuit boards. Of all the hardware in this system, the power supply has the highest heat dissipation. Because of this thermal load, the power supply must be installed at the very top of the enclosure. This ensures its exhaust heat immediately dissipates outward, rather than washing over the sensitive microelectronics. Consequently, the CPU and local I/O racks are positioned either adjacent to or below the power supply. The power supply itself must never be mounted directly underneath any other equipment. Zooming out to the macro level, the physical dimensions of the NEMA enclosure are never arbitrary. The size is calculated directly from the combined wattage of all internal components. This chart shows the temperature rise for a NEMA 12 enclosure. Engineers use this linear relationship between input power and temperature rise to guarantee the internal environment stays well below the standard 60 degrees Celsius operating limit. Thermodynamics establishes the physical skeleton of the panel. The survival of the hardware always takes precedence over an aesthetically pleasing layout. Once the hardware is placed, we route the nerves of the system, the wire ducts. Here, the invisible threat is electromagnetic interference. The first rule of routing is strict spatial segregation. High-voltage AC power lines must be physically separated from low-level DC signal and analog lines into dedicated wireways. The physics behind this rule are straightforward. Thinner AC cables carry alternating current, which generates radiating magnetic fields that pulse outward through the enclosure. If a low-level DC signal wire runs parallel within that expanding and collapsing magnetic field, the noise electrostatically couples into the signal line, destroying the integrity of the data. However, in any complex panel, AC and DC wiring will eventually have to cross paths. This image shows the proper routing protocol. They must only intersect at strict 90-degree angles. Notice the blue I/O wiring crossing the gray AC power lines at a perpendicular intersection. This right-angle configuration minimizes the cross-sectional area of the signal wire exposed to the AC magnetic field. This routing practice practically eliminates noise pickup. We also have to protect the enclosure from external electrical threats. The incoming power feed from a plant's electrical grid is inherently noisy and unstable. An isolation transformer serves as the first line of defense. It steps down the voltage to the desired level and strips away heavy equipment line noise before it reaches the PLC. But we must also engineer for catastrophic failure. If the processor freezes, software logic cannot be trusted to stop the machine. This latter schematic shows the Master Control Relay, or MCR, which forms the foundation of hardwired deterministic safety. Emergency stop push buttons are wired directly into this relay circuit. They are completely independent of the PLC's software. When an operator hits the E-stop, it physically breaks the circuit and de-energizes the master control relay coil. This severs input and output power, instantly disabling all field actuators. Crucially, while the I/O power is cut, the PLC CPU remains energized. This allows it to maintain its memory, network communications, and diagnostic functions. True safety cannot rely on microprocessors. It requires electromechanical determinism to guarantee a safe machine state when the software fails. Managing components at the edge of the network requires an understanding of analog physics that persists even during binary operations. Solid-state field devices, like the triacs inside proximity switches, exhibit a tiny leakage current even when they are fully powered off. This diagram shows how that tiny leakage current, labeled IL, can falsely trigger a high-impedance input module, causing erratic machine behavior. The solution is to install a bleeding or loading resistor across the input. This introduces resistance to the circuit, shunting the leakage current safely away from the module. On the output side, we face the violent interruption of massive inductive loads, like large motor starters and industrial solenoids. These three diagrams outline suppression techniques. When you turn off an inductive load, it generates a massive, high-voltage spike that travels back down the wire. Left unchecked, it can blow out the PLC's output module. Installing an RC snubber or a metal oxide varistor directly at the load absorbs this energy spike. This actively controls the rate of current change through the inductor. We must suppress these transient spikes at the edge of the network before they have the chance to penetrate the control enclosure. Looking at the completed system, the optimized enclosure and field devices function as a protected ecosystem. We have built exact layers of internal defense, calculated thermal convection paths, right-angle EMI segregation, and the hardwired safety of the master control relay. Externally, the isolation transformer cleans incoming power, while transient suppressors neutralize inductive kickbacks at the source. A robust industrial installation is ultimately an exercise in active isolation. By treating the enclosure as a physical and electrical firewall, we guarantee the machine answers only to the logic programmed inside it.